Hey, all, welcome back. Welcome to episode 15. Tonight, if you're stopping in, that tells me one thing. You enjoy karaoke. Well, so do I. I've been hosting karaoke professionally now for well over 25 years. Yeah, a long time. Going on from the CDs to converting those CDs to today's streaming platforms and, of course, digital downloads. Now, what I would like to do for you today is maybe provide you a few tips and tricks if you're an aspiring host or a KJ or whatever you want to call yourself, even a DJ. It's not as bad as you think, and it's not as expensive as you think. So hopefully you'll stay tuned and, you can take this little journey with me. Okay, to start off, one of the most important things to be an aspiring karaoke host or KJ, whatever you want to call yourself, is your equipment. Now, that can go in many, many different directions. Just depends on what your budget is. Truly, me personally, I'm more about bang for the buck. I want to get the best sound quality I can possibly get for the least amount of money. And that's how I go into it. And the reason is because depending on how long that you've been hosting or are planning on hosting, you're going to go through equipment. Your speakers are going to break, your microphones are going to break, your computers possibly could be spilled on by a drink or two. Same thing with your soundboard. Now, the items that I'm going to show you are just personal preferences. They're items that I've actually have gone out, tested, used in the field, and done months of research on. And what I have found that when it comes to overall sound for value, these items are by far superior to anything that you could get for, seriously, a speaker, $1,000 QSC speaker. Yes, they are the best. They are the best of the best. Same thing with the JBL PRX. They're right up there neck and neck with the QSCs. But it is unnecessary, especially if you want to have a profitable karaoke business. Number one, when it comes to your gear, okay, sound is by far one of your most important aspects of this business. You have multiple hosts that are out there that have been doing this, honestly, almost as long as I have, 20 years or so. Okay. Me personally, I've been doing this for 25. And I have seen in venues today, talking February 6th, 2023, hosts and companies still using equipment that is 10 or 15 years old. Do not be that host. Yes, it takes time. Yes, you want to make a profit. You want to make as much as you possibly can. But number one, continue to upgrade your gear. But that's in the long run. But right now, we want to get you started. We want to get you out the door. We want to get you into a venue and get you your first gig. So, number one, your equipment. What we're going to do is we're going to go shopping. We're going to go shopping. Number one, what we're going to do is we're going to go shopping and we're going to find us the best sound quality for the buck. And after all of the research that I've done and all of the equipment that I've used over the years, what I am currently using is by far superior to anything out there. Me, I am in Southeast Michigan, in the Tri County area, Detroit area. And with what I'm going to share with you, okay, there is nobody in my general area, in my Southeast Michigan, that can touch the sound quality and the karaoke that I provide. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm not trying to tell you that I'm better than anybody else, but this is feedback I have gotten from my customers. And these customers are avid karaoke singers. They go around nightly through the course of the week, going to different venues, singing their karaoke. What I'm going to share with you, you want premium sound. You want to have the best sounding karaoke that you could possibly have. on a budget, these are the materials that you need to buy. First up, your microphones. Right here. The Shure BLX 288s. This right here is probably the second most expensive investment I have in my karaoke setup. These are not studio quality microphones. Not at all. But Shure are guaranteed solid mics. You can never go wrong with Shure. Never. And the reason why I recommend these is they could be a little pricey. A dual pair for the cordless here are $550. Yeah, it could be out of, some folks' price range. And you might think, well, I'll just go to Guitar Center or, order something online that's going to cost me like $100. And well, go ahead. I, if that's what you can afford, that's what you should get. But the reason why I say these, when it comes to karaoke, you don't want to be using the quarter inch, corded microphones or you know, when it comes to the cordless microphones, you don't want to be using the quarter inch ones that are plugging directly into your board. You don't want to use those. They're subject to feedback and they sound awful. Everything is going to sound tinny. When you use your reverb, it's going to be overplayed and it sounds bad. It truly does. But then you're thinking, well, if I go with anything else, these people are gonna, they're gonna possibly be intoxicated. They might drop the microphone or it might break. Well, yeah, if you're spending anywhere from $60 to $100 on a microphone for a pair of, cordless, yeah, it's gonna break. Because honestly, because they're cheap. These here, these Shores, these have been dropped 7, 8 feet off of a stage onto a tiled floor. And they still work like they were brand new. You do get what you pay for with your equipment. So on certain things, do not chintz. On certain pieces of equipment, do not chintz. You can't because you're going to end up paying more in the long run than you are up front. So when it comes to the karaoke, I'm telling you, the BLX 288s is the way to go. Truly is. They're solid. Now, when it comes to my board, I run American Audio VMS5. Unfortunately, they no longer make this board. This board came out about 8 years ago. And the reason why I chose this board was because of the multiple channels. But the primary reason was it's very difficult to find a multiple channel board this compact with dual balanced XLR outs. This board with the Shure BLX 288s, you can't go wrong. This particular board here, when it was new 8 years ago, was $550. The one when I bought it used off of eBay. And I think I paid less than $400 for it, and that was 4 years ago. This thing is still running strong. The crossfaders work just like the day I bought them. Same thing with each channel. Every effect, even the XLRs and the mic channels. 100%. You could probably find this board on eBay or one of your marketplaces for less than $300 now. That is the board. Also, it does have an internal sound card, so when you are running a laptop, it does enhance the sound. It does compress it and digitize it. So you can't go wrong with a board of this kind. And I'm sure there are other brands out there that actually have, these features today. But these are very hard to find. This is something that you would want to actually do your homework on and really take your time in purchasing. But always make sure, if you're going to buy a board, make sure you have balanced XLRs for your microphones. Very important. Really, really helps the sound of your mics. Now, when it comes to my speakers, this was a very conscious choice. For years and years and years, I have went and looked for best sound for the money. I've gone through the JBL PRX series. I've listened to some of the Mackie Thumps, the Harbingers. And after all this time, there's been an obscure brand that's been sitting out underneath all of our noses for years that no host rarely uses. Or I'm sorry, no host barely uses. Everyone's stuck on the Mackies, JBLs, and the QSCs. Where the QSCs are running $1,000 a speaker along with the JBLs, the Mackies are right around $500 a piece. But these right here, these are the Alto TS series. Now, if you want to do something with premium sound on a budget, I highly recommend the Alto TS 312s. That is the older generation to the current 412 series, which I'm currently running today. But if you're on a budget, the TS 312s, you could probably find a pair roughly for about $600 used. Incredible value, incredible sound. You will not be disappointed. When these have been tested, these have actually been put up against the QSC series. And you, I will tell you this right now, they do rival the QSCs and the PRX. This is a great value for sound. Also, I also run an Alto TS312S. It is the 12-inch sub. Now, this thing is incredible. It's small, it's compact. I think it weighs 35 or 40 pounds. It's not that bad. And this particular sub, paired with any of the TS series, you will have unmatched sound when it comes to karaoke. You will have no need for a floor monitor, none whatsoever. So this is one of those highly recommended additions. It's not a necessity. It is not a necessity. This is like one of those little add-ons, maybe when you're down the road and you want to upgrade your sound just a little bit, just to give it that little bit of oomph. And I will tell you this, it is clean, clean, clean bass. You will not be disappointed with this sub at all. Now, you're probably wondering, okay, well, what about my computer? What do I run my laptop on? Or what kind of laptop should I get? Well, actually, that's another place where you can save a lot of money. You don't need anything fancy. You really don't. Any any basic laptop from the last, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 years will run just about anything for you. Anything that you need for karaoke. It will. Just have to make sure that you have at least an i5 processor, something with multiple cores. Make sure you have at least 16 gig of RAM and plenty of storage. Even if you don't have storage on the laptop itself, buy buy an external hard drive. Just something where you can actually collect and build your music. Now, that's the other thing, music. What do where do you get it? Well, I've been lucky enough where the last 25 years that I've been collecting music, well, since I was 16. And when I got into karaoke, it was back then you had to buy what are called bricks from Sound Choice. And you got the big old bricks and big old packs of multiple jewel cases of, CDGs. Well, and over time, all that had to be converted digitally. And yes, there were a lot of long nights to build up that library. But today it's simple. Depending on what platform that you're using that you want to run your show with, Virtual DJ, Serato, or any of the KJ programs that are out there, you can pretty much link any of your streaming services directly to those directly to those platforms. You can do it. Yeah. Like me personally, I use Virtual DJ. I use the Pro. You can link your Spotify, you can link your SoundCloud, your Deezer accounts, and right off the bat, even Virtual DJ themselves actually offer subscriptions for karaoke song and even karaoke songs and videos, music videos. Um, I know Deezer, which I use also, actually has subscriptions where you can stream and you know add to your virtual DJ and as well the karaoke versions of their songs also. You can go to the various websites, Sound Choice. Sound Choice has a website where you can actually do digital downloads or even buy digital bricks. And that's probably your biggest expense when it comes to karaoke. And if you're aspiring to do this, that is your biggest expense. It's going to be your music. Now, that's one expense that's never going to go away. Every week you're going to be downloading stuff. Every month, guaranteed, guaranteed. But with what's good though, we know with Sound Choice, their brand, you pretty much get the premium, karaoke songs. Those are the best versions, or closest to radio versions that you're going to find. But you can't forget about there's Carafun that's out there, karaoke version that's out there, and I think there might be a few more that are just slipping my mind at this moment. But there are plenty of sites where you can go and download music. So it's not like you need to have an extensive library to get started. All that matters is if you have a decent computer, some good microphones, and a couple speakers. It's not going to cost you a lot. And that's the other thing with your computer. If you're watching this at home on a computer now, you could probably use that computer right there to store your library. You don't need anything special. You really don't. So, I really hope, I've given you some insight. And if you're in doubt and sitting on the fence and wondering if you wanted to get into something like this, well, as you can see, it's really not that expensive. We'll just say, okay, let's do the math here. Okay, your microphones. You'll just say you buy a decent set, you buy the Shure BLX. Okay, there's $550. Your computer, you already have one at home. You can use that. Okay, well, I'm just going to assume you have at least 500 gigabytes of storage. Even if you went out and bought a terabyte hard drive, you can go out and buy a terabyte, external hard drive for under $100. So we're saying $650. Now, let's see if you're lucky and you can get out there and you can find yourself a pair of Alto TS 312s. $600. We're at 1,200 bucks. Now, what's really nice is those Alto TS 312s. Those are self-powered. So you need a set of XLR cords to hook them up. Maybe a pair of microphone stands. You can get a pair of microphone stands on Amazon for 50 bucks. Cheapest ones you can get. Just 50 bucks. Something that'll do the job until you get yourself established. So there you go. So we're looking at 1,200, less than $1,300 right now. Your biggest expense, let's say you decide that you want to buy the Virtual DJ Pro. It's either going to cost you $20 a month or it's going to cost you $350 right up front for everything. And you'll never have to pay a monthly payment. Now, if you have your streaming subscriptions or for Spotify, Deezer, there's your music. It's always there. So it's less space you're taking up on your hard drive. It's not that bad, is it? Oh, wait, you need a monitor so they can actually read the words for the songs. Well, this is where you're in luck also. You can go on Walmart, Amazon, go to one of them, and you can buy an actual TV stand. TV stand is $60, $60 to $70, a decent one. Okay. And it's just a little 4 foot tall tripod. Okay. It has like a wall mount that you would mount a flat screen to a wall right on the rack or right on the stand. Okay. But well, you need a TV or you need a monitor. Well, if you actually go and look around, you'll see that regular computer monitors are more expensive than regular TVs. You can go to Wal. Ooh, excuse me. Wow, that was disgusting. I'm, I'm not going to edit that out. That's just me. I'm pretty disgusting sometimes too. I'll burp and, everyone farts too. But I won't pick my nose. I promise. But anyway, yeah, your monitor. You don't need to go out and spend, hundreds of dollars on a computer monitor. No. Go to a pawn shop. Find a small 32-inch flat screen that's fairly new. You don't need anything more than 720p. You can probably find it for under $200. So look at that. I just gave you a karaoke setup for less than $1,500. Yep. Think about that. 1,500 bucks. Get you started. It's not perfect. You can expand on it. And let's say you got your equipment. You start going out, you start looking for your first venue. I want my first gig. Where do you go? You start with the little corner bar. Well, how much do you charge? How much do you ask for? What do you do? I'm going to tell you. When we come back. Well, congratulations. You got your first gig. Now, the question is, how much did you undercut the previous host by? $100? 150? 175? Or did you get lucky and the owner liked you and they offered you $200 a night for karaoke? Now, me, I don't know what your going rate is and wherever you're at, but here in my area, the average going rate for a karaoke host per night is anywhere on the low end from $150 to the high end of $250. That is for a night of karaoke. But it depends. What you're getting paid depends on your experience. Depends on, well, how long you've been doing it. Now, there are going to be some places that'll take that chance. Yeah, you're new. You're just starting off looking for your first gig. You got your first gig and you're all gung ho and ready to go. And you convince that bar owner or that manager, yeah, hire me. I'm going to I'm going to be a good karaoke host. I know I got all these singers that are going to come to this bar or this venue. Yep. And we're going to turn it out. We're going to make you lots of money. Well, hold your horses. When you get your first gig, number one thing, never make promises you can't keep. Never go in there promising that manager or that owner, well, I'm going to bring you in this many people every single night that I'm working. I'm going to be able to make you this kind of money. Never, never, never do that. That's not your job. Your job is to keep them there. Your job is to get them to sing. Your job is to help put money in that venue's till. It is the venue's job to get you the people. Your job is to keep the people. That is your job. Get them to sing. Acknowledge your wait staff and bartenders, your barbacks and cooks. That is something that is a requirement. Also, get to know your venue staff. See what their likes and dislikes are. Same thing with your customers. Get to know them. And do it by using the most powerful tool you have in your arsenal. Oops. This. The most powerful tool you'll have in your arsenal is your microphone and your personality. This can make or break you. You get personal and friendly with the staff. You can crack jokes, keep the atmosphere light. At the same time, shouting out your waitresses and bartenders. Drink specials, any specials, any events that are happening in the next week or in the next couple days that are going on in that establishment. With this, you can make that bar or venue extra money just by talking on it. What I do, my night starts at 9 p.m. I run karaoke from 9 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. In the course of that night, I will do shout outs, birthdays, my waitresses and bartenders, of course, barbacks, cooks. or regulars, regular customers that come into the venue. Greet them, say hello. Also, when you're doing your specials, don't just do them once, do them multiple times, especially when you see those people rotating. People are going to be coming and going all night long. So I make it a rule every 30 minutes. Shout out them shot specials. Shout out any other specials. Call out your waitresses. Because remember, the more money that you can make them, the more money that venue makes. And when that happens, the owners are happy. That creates security. And that is what we're here for. Security means possibly multiple days in that venue. Security means building reputation. Building reputation increases your demand. Your demand increases your earnings. So you got your first gig. Congratulations. One thing, though, you have to learn when you get that first gig, it's not about you. It is never about you. It's not about you going in there singing what you think are your sets, your favorite songs all night long. That's not why you're there. You are there to get the customer to sing. You are there to keep the environment lively and fun, not to put on a concert. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Even though you're there for karaoke as a host, not everybody in that room likes karaoke. How dare I say that? Yes, not everybody likes karaoke. So what do you do? Hmm? Well, see, this is where I recommend. I just kind of picked my nose, like I said I wouldn't do it, but I did it. Eh, too bad. But anyway, um, so yeah, so what do? Someone comes up to you and says, "Is there more karaoke going on?" And you tell them, "Yes, you have several singers that you have coming up. Your rotation, you show them, and we have a bunch of singers." Well, I don't. What if they say I don't like karaoke? Does it have to be just constantly singers coming up here and singing over and over again? What do you do when you have a small rotation, say like two or three singers? Do you let them continuously come up singing over and over and over again? You're going to have nights like that. Not every night is going to have a 15, 20 person singer rotation. It's not going to happen. I'm sure there's going to be venues that are out there, some hosts that do experience things like that. But for the most part, if you're just starting off and you're doing some, hole in the wall bar, no, you're not going to have, rotations like that. We're talking about a small venue here. So what I recommend, highly recommend, is definitely play what's called bumper music between each singer. I don't mean play the whole song. It's just to break up that tension. You know that you have a singer. They just finished and they might be good, they might be bad. It's going to happen. Not everyone's going to sing very well. I admit, I'm not a good singer, but I still do it anyway because it's sometimes you just have to do it. So, but yes, I highly recommend definitely play some music between your singers. Like I said, not necessarily the whole song, just enough to where you can pull up the next singer. Give yourself a, 20-minute or 20-second or 30-second break between singers. Just play something. Have a little side list. You call that next singer up, it breaks up the monotony. Also, one of the things I'm sure that many of you that are considering doing this or aspiring to do this or even do this, notice when you're listening to the radio or satellite radio or whatever your local station is or your favorite channel, you ever notice there is no such thing? There's one thing that kills every radio station: dead air. So if dead air doesn't get you, Not knowing your music will. That's another thing that's pretty important. Know your music. I'm talking know your library, know the song that you're playing, because there's going to be times where you're not going to be on that stage. And it comes down to your timing. Yep. Bathroom breaks. Highly recommend. Any of the hustles. You got to go to the bathroom, play a hustle. It works. Gives you plenty of time to get in there, go to the bath, take care of business, maybe make a stop, wash your hands, and grab a drink or something. And it gives you plenty of time to come back. So, yes, know your library. Know your library like the back of your hand. And you will with time. It just does. It just takes time. You're going to get there. And, you know, when you do, and when you do, it becomes second nature. It really does. You won't even have to think. You could have someone set up, you could have all your settings, your microphone settings ready to go. You have your singer up, you go up there, you get there, you make sure their levels are just right. You go out for a walk, you see someone in the venue that you know. Go on out there, you can go talk to them for the duration of that song. And honestly, that karaoke song just becomes background noise. It really does. And then that internal clock starts going off when you know it'll automatically tell you it's time to go back up on stage and give that singer its outro. Yep. So it's not as bad as you think. It's just like anything else. It just requires practice. You got to be willing to do it, but you also got to be willing to take the bumps that go with it. You're going to lose venues and you're going to lose equipment. It's going to break. So be prepared for that. There's going to be nights where you can only use one speaker or one microphone, or your laptop is on the fritz and you're using a tablet for your music. It's going to happen, but you'll learn. Over time, you'll muscle through it and you'll build it up. But just remember that one thing. One thing when you go into a venue, it's not about you. It's about the venue and those customers. It truly is. Once you can get your ego out of the way of hosting karaoke, you have no idea what that'll do for your business. You have no clue. And you got to remember though, what you're making those nights, that's not including whatever, you might get lucky and get some tips from some of the customers. You get some big spenders some nights, and sometimes they'll, just maybe throw you $1 or two. But guess what? They're doing it because they appreciate what you're doing for them. So regardless of how big the tip is, accept it gracefully and graciously. So on that, we're going to end this segment. So hopefully, if you're interested and you want to get into this business, you can see it's not as expensive as you think, especially today. Technology has really helped the business go a long way. So yeah, so next time you're out and you decide you want to go to a karaoke bar, you know, don't be overly nosy, but go say hi to your host. Talk to them. Take a look at see what kind of equipment they're using. Listen to it. You know, where would you do things differently? And that's what it's about. It's about trying to develop your own show and finding your niche or whatever you want to call it. Because all it takes is one venue. It really does. It only takes one venue, one establishment. You get in there, you get to know the customers, staff, and manager or owner. And you never know, you might get that break one day. Yeah, come on in. I'll give you a night. Might be a Wednesday or a Tuesday to start you off, but if you do good enough, yeah, and they like you, and you're just starting out, that could turn into multiple nights. It really can. And think about that too. Depending on however you want to claim it, if you're going to be all seedy and everything and not claim anything and don't tell Uncle Sam, or you can do your 1099. But really think about that. If you're just even a minimum A minimum. If you're doing it at the minimum, you go out and spend, like I said, you spend that, $1,500 to $2,000 on your starter set. You spend that money on your starter set. Okay, there's your investment. You get lucky. You get 2 nights a week in a bar. At minimum, $150 a night. That's $300 a week. $300 a week. Go out, play music, let other people sing. Yeah, you'll pay for your record pools or your video pools, your karaoke pools, but they're not as expensive as you think. If you get in that, you add that up. That's $1,200 a month. $1,200 a month that you could be making off of a $2,000 investment. Do that for a year. Put all that money away. Uh-huh. Nice little cushion, isn't it? Nice little side hustle. They talk about, oh, set up a YouTube channel and do this and or Twitch, TikTok, go out and start a business, lawn business and do all that. I will tell you this right now. Karaoke, DJing is the ultimate side hustle. For one, you can think of it almost as a night out. You get to go out to a venue, you get to listen to music. Maybe depending on, if you drink, just drink responsibly, be professional, but you can still have a lot of fun doing it. And not only have a lot of fun doing it, you're getting paid to do it. Yep. Think about that. What could you do with that? As a little side hustle, little part-time job. You're working for 10 hours. 10 hours a week, 2 days a week. Even if it's just one, even if you only do one night a week. 5 hours of work. 5 extra hours of work. You're getting paid to hang out, have fun with everybody else. Do that 4 times a month. It's still a nice little cushion, isn't it? What could you do with it? Is it your grocery bill? Is it your car payment? Half your house payment? Some of your other bills? It's one of those things. Do not rely on it as a lifestyle or a way of living. I mean, yes, there are some very large karaoke companies in my area that have several hosts that work for them, but, you know, very few and far between when you can get into something that big. Not everyone can be prestige worldwide, okay? So think of karaoke or DJing as that little side hustle. And in most cases, all it takes is couple $1,000. And it's not like you're spending it all at once. Do it slowly. Buy a piece at a time. If you only can buy one speaker, 1 month or once every couple months, fine. That's okay. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with buying used. If it works, it gets you started. So yes. So it's not as complex or as hard as you think. The hardest part is actually doing and actually going to the venue and, speaking to, managers or the owners. That's the hardest part. And it's how do you sell yourself? It really is. But just don't make promises you can't keep because it'll burn you in the end. It truly will. You can go a couple weeks and have, oh yeah, I brought 20 of my friends in. We're going to be able to do this every week. No, you can't. You're adults. You're going to a venue that you're more than likely have to be 21 years or older. Hopefully everyone's working. If not, I'm sorry. But think about that. You have responsibilities as an adult. You have a home, you have things that you must take care of outside of, doing this. Responsibilities. Responsibilities still have to come first. You have to prioritize. So never make promises you're not going to be able to keep. Because what happens in 3 weeks when only two friends can show up? And instead, that $1,000 those 20 people were spending at venue turns into 75, and it becomes consistent. Only a couple can show up to maybe $100 that, your friends are spending. What happens? You promise the venue that I can bring in all this money. Well, guess what? You're not. You can't do that. So whatever you do, don't make promises you know you can't keep, even if it gets your foot in the door. No, don't do it. But, but anyway, I hope this was insightful. I hope it was helpful. And if, like I said, if you're interested in doing something like this, leave a comment, leave a like, share this, whatever. And I'll get back to you. Just let me know what you think. And if you need some more in-depth help on trying to, get yourself off the ground and doing something like this, like I said, just reach out. I'm more than happy to help. So emails in the beginning placard, and if you need to, go ahead and send me an email, and I'll answer as soon as I can. As soon as I can. So on that, I'll let you guys go. We are going to do another segment on karaoke, but this one's going to be on customer etiquette. That one's going to be one of my personal favorites. So we're also going to do in that particular segment, we're going to do a top 5 do and don'ts as a karaoke customer, and it'll be fun. And those of you that are karaoke hosts or KJs that are out there, I think that's going to be one episode that you're going to appreciate very much. So on that, anyway, you guys enjoy your music. If it's too loud, you're too old. And yeah, be good. Take care of yourselves. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Wash your hands. I'll see you next time. Good night.